Hello, and welcome to another episode of Untraditionally Traditional, a podcast with me, Brittany Duncan, a millennial homemaker. Join me each week as I share all the things I've learned that make keeping your home, garden, and life running smoothly, all while working. If you are enjoying the podcast, please be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcasting app so you get the episodes downloaded straight to you every Monday. Now, on to today's episode. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Untraditionally Traditional, a millennial homemaker. This is your host, Brittany Duncan, and on this episode, I am sharing 3 tips on better ways to tackle something in the home or garden, kicking off with beets. Beets are a delicious vegetable, and they're full of antioxidants and nutritional benefits. One of the antioxidant types are beta-lanans. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. To ask my husband. But anyway, they fight inflammation and cell damage. And it's said that the health benefits of beets are protection against cancer and heart disease, stroke, that they can lower our blood pressure and also give us more stamina during exercise, which is amazing. Vegetables are amazing. So why are we not eating more beets? You may be thinking to yourself, they taste like dirt and they're a pain in the booty to cook. And that's where I'm here to tell you that there's a better way. Beets often taste like dirt, well, because they grow in the dirt. Naturally, they do have an earthy flavor, but your dirt flavoring may be the real deal due to simply scrubbing and chopping your beets when you bake them. You're probably leaving some of that outer edge on, the outer shell that's giving that more earthy flavor than you might desire. One way to combat that is peeling beets, but if you've done that, you've likely experienced stained hands and cutting boards, and you've lost 45 minutes of your life that you're never going to get back, which is where my preferred method comes in. I like to give them a good scrub. I use a nail brush to clean my tough-skinned vegetables from the garden to really get that dirt off. They cost about $4 and they're worth every penny. After I give them that good cleaning, I chop off the root tip and then the top where the leaves grow. Then I individually wrap them in tinfoil, bake at 400 degrees for 40 to 75 minutes. The length of time is going to depend on the size of your beets. Small beets take about 40 minutes, medium 50 to 60, and then if you've got a nice large beet, it's about 60 to 75 minutes. You can test the doneness right through the tinfoil with a toothpick. Just stick it in there and you can tell how tender it is. And then once those beets have cooked, you're going to remove them with oven mitts and take off that foil again with the oven mitts. Let them cool for 5 to 10 minutes until you can handle them without burning yourself, but they're still warm. And then I like to use a dry paper towel, and you can just wipe the outer layer of the beet off. You can also use that discarded tinfoil to remove the outer layer. Sometimes if there's a part that's a little bit harder to remove that's not coming off with the paper towel, that tinfoil can be really handy. But it's so simple, y'all. Like I said, the skin just wipes right off. You don't have to peel. You don't have to scrub to absolute death because you are still taking off that outer layer. And you're just left with these perfectly cooked, whole, beautifully shaped beets. They're not all jagged from using the peeler on them, and you can just slice them and serve them. They're gorgeous. Next up, and another topic entirely, is cleaning your toilet bowls. If you'll learn anything from this episode, it's that I don't enjoy scrubbing without results. Cleaning toilet bowls can sometimes feel like that if you've got heavy minerals or hard water. Yes, bacteria will create a ring too, but what I'm talking about is that ring that appears despite your cleaning and serious elbow grease. That sucker remains. You may also experience rust stains, which present a similar issue. You can scrub and scrub and scrub, but they're not coming off. So what you need to do is get yourself a toilet bowl pumice stone. This pumice acts as a fine grit that tackles those tough stains with ease. No chemicals needed. It's wand-shaped. It's got a little handle on it so that you can easily navigate your toilet bowl. And the whole process is probably an additional 30 seconds to your cleaning routine, saving you however many minutes you normally try to scrub those rust stains or hard water lines off before you throw your hands up and say screw it. I've seen some various products pitched on Instagram to tackle this issue that I want to advise caution with. A lot of them are either liquids or solids that you put into the tank of your toilet, And this is a big no-no if you want your toilet to last. The materials inside of that tank, gaskets and seals especially, are not meant to be exposed to harsh chemicals. The chemicals that stick to the inside of your toilet bowl, in my opinion, unnecessarily add to the number of chemicals going back into our water system every time you flush. And also, if your pets drink from your toilet bowl, thankfully ours do not, but I remember growing up that our cats did, you need to be really careful about what you're using in that bowl for their sake. All right, out of the bathroom, back to the kitchen. Let's talk about herbs and keeping them fresh. I love herbs all year round, but especially in summer, you'll be hard-pressed to find a meal coming out of our kitchen that isn't garnished with either parsley or cilantro. Because I use so much, these are herbs that I purchase. I can get my bunch of cilantro or parsley to last about 2 weeks in the refrigerator if we don't consume it in that time with this simple trick. When I get my bunch of organic parsley or cilantro, I bring them right home and I give them a good rinse under the tap, or if I am going to be doing like a whole bunch of vegetable produce ross after grocery shopping, I'll fill a sink full of water with some vegetable wash, and then once they are clean, I let them dry on the drying mat for a few hours, and then you're going to take the whole bunch and chop about 1/4 inch from the bottom of the stems. Think of like cutting flowers. You're just cutting off that bottom 1/4 inch. And then you will fill up a glass of water just to where the stems are going to be. Try not to get leaves into the water. And then put both of those bunches into that glass. From there, I'll use either a gallon Ziploc or that thin plastic produce bag that often the bunches come in, and just leave the bottom loose. You're basically tenting them. Put the 2 bunches into the glass, put the bag over the bunches, and it's loose on the bottom. And then this gives them the right amount of humidity and water to keep them fresh. When you need some herbs, just simply take off the bunch, cut off what you need because they're already washed and ready to go. I hope these 3 tips will save you some time and money in your home. Cheers, and until next week, happy homemaking, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of Untraditionally Traditional. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share it with those special people who would love it too, and write a review. For more tips and photos of my home and garden, follow Untraditionally Traditional Pod on Instagram. Until next week, let's continue to make our homes places of joy and service to ourselves and those we share them with.